Hello, everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney. Today is Wednesday, July 7th. Thanks for being here for the top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. We start off with an important weather update for you today. There is a severe thunderstorm warning that's been issued for several northeast Ohio counties. That includes Holmes, Stark, Summit, Wayne, and Tuscarawas counties. That has been in effect until 2:45 p.m. Also, a severe thunderstorm watch has been issued for most of northeast Ohio. As a reminder here, the difference between a watch and a warning is this. A watch means that the potential exists for development of severe thunderstorms, while a warning means that severe weather is imminent or already happening in the area. So that watch is in effect for most of northeast Ohio. That's in effect until 9 p.m. this evening. Now, today on social media, we saw Senator Sherrod Brown sharing never-before-seen images of the wreckage from the insurrection at the Washington, D.C. area inside the Capitol that happened on January 6th. These photos were taken by Senator Brown the morning after the deadly riot. That was on January 7th and posted for the first time today, exactly 6 months later on July 7th. In those images shared by Senator Brown, you see broken out, boarded up windows with glass covering the room, a lot of debris on the carpeting in the photos. You see busted up furniture that includes tables, busted up glass from tables, wood sections of furniture strewn about, lamps upended, furniture upended, just a real elaborate depiction of some of the wreckage that happened in Washington, D.C. Now, as a reminder, this was carried out by Americans who were urged to try and stop the electoral process. They were urged to try and stop the certifying of the Electoral College votes that declared Joe Biden the president and the winner of the 2020 election. This all resulted in the historic second impeachment of then-President Donald Trump on the charge of inciting an insurrection. Now, from the events that happened on January 6th, 549 people have been charged, including 2 people from Ohio. Then President Trump, now former President Trump, was not found guilty. He was acquitted of the charge of inciting an insurrection. There were 57 guilty votes, 43 not guilty votes. 7 Republicans joined Senator Sherrod Brown, who is a Democrat here for the state of Ohio, in voting to convict President Trump, but they did not reach the required threshold of 67 votes to convict. It was, however, the most bipartisan vote to convict a sitting president of an impeachment charge in an impeachment trial in U.S. history. Speaking of voting, early voting begins today in the special congressional primary election for Ohio's 11th district. This is to fill the seat left vacant by Representative Marcia Fudge, who was confirmed as the U.S. Secretary for Housing and Urban Development in President Joe Biden's administration. So the early voting starts today in the primary. Remember, this is the primary portion of the election. The official primary election, the final day, is Tuesday, August 3rd. So between now and then, you'll have an opportunity to vote, depending on your party affiliation, for one of 13 Democratic candidates or one of 2 Republicans who want to be on the final ballot to have a chance at replacing Fudge. Now, Fudge had held the seat in Ohio's 11th district that represents Cuyahoga County and Summit County from 2008 to 2021 when she was appointed by Joe Biden. In other election news, mayoral candidate Dennis Kucinich will no longer be using an image of the Cleveland script sign that has been altered to make it appear to be covered in blood and riddled with bullet holes. Now, Destination Cleveland challenged the legality of Kucinich using this in a mailer, which the campaign said was meant to depict violence happening in the city of Cleveland. Now, Kucinich's campaign says it respectfully disagrees with that interpretation from Destination Cleveland, that there's any legal issue with using the sign, but they also said they will no longer be using it because the point has been made. Here's a quote from the Kucinich campaign. The image illustrated the horrific number of shootings and related violent crime in our community. The image made its point, and the campaign has no plans for its further use. Please note that this letter does not constitute, nor should it be construed as, an acknowledgement of any inappropriate or wrongful action, nor of any liability related to this matter. So the campaign continuing to say that it had the right to alter the image in that way in order to make that point, but no plans to continue to use it moving forward. Here in the Cleveland area, it is simply a fact, not just in Cleveland, but nationwide that black children die of drowning disproportionately to white children, and our YMCA here in Cleveland is hoping to close that swimming divide. Now, according to USA Swimming Foundation, this is a foundation that collects data about drowning, 40% of white children and 45% of Latina children have little to no swimming ability. Compare that with 64% of black children. Now, earlier this year, the YMCA applied for and received a grant from the USA Swimming Foundation. It's a $10,000 grant so they can provide free or reduced cost swimming lessons to children of color in the Cleveland community. And Cleveland YMCA Aquatics Director Philip Hearn says this, that we've got this great big giant of body water just north of us in Lake Erie. It's an inexpensive place to go and cool off, but if you don't know how to swim and you don't know how to be water safe, it can be very dangerous and deadly. The YMCA in Cleveland teaches all ages and swim levels, and Hearn says that if money is an issue, the YMCA will help you out. They have that grant to be able to do it. So if you're interested in learning more about potential swimming lessons or the other things that the YMCA has to offer, you can click on a link at wkyc.com. Now, if you have been to one of our area zoos lately, you may have noticed extra barriers providing more space between you and the animals that you are there to visit. Well, part of that reason is because of COVID-19 concerns, and now we know that the Cleveland Metro Park Zoo and the Akron Zoo will be giving COVID-19 vaccinations to some of their animals. Cleveland Metro Park Zoo spokesperson Jeff Tolman says that the zoo is scheduled to receive a USDA-authorized experimental COVID-19 vaccine that's uniquely made for animals, and it's been donated by the veterinary pharmaceutical health company Zoetis. Tolman told 3 News in an email they're expecting to receive it in the next few weeks. They'll begin giving it to animals who are susceptible to COVID-19. That includes gorillas, orangutans, small primates, tigers, lions, leopards, and more. Now, no animal at the Cleveland Metro Park Zoo has tested positive for COVID-19, but Tolman says that the vaccine will offer just an extra layer of protection for animals in the care of the zoo. Now, Zoetis is donating more than 11,000 doses for animals living in nearly 70 zoos, as well as a dozen conservatories, sanctuaries, academic institutions, and government organizations. This is throughout 27 states. Ohio is one of them, and so is the Cleveland Metro Park Zoo and the Akron Zoo. Now, if you're following what's going on in the world of the NBA right now, you may be interested to know that the Cleveland Cavaliers could potentially trade up for the number 1 pick in the upcoming NBA draft. This is according to ESPN's Jonathan Givony. The Detroit Pistons right now have the number 1 pick in the NBA draft, but according to ESPN, they are entertaining offers for people to move up, for other teams to move up and take that number 1 pick. And some teams who are interested and have been talking with Detroit about what it would take to get that number 1 pick from them include Cleveland, Houston, New Orleans, and Oklahoma City. The talks are at an early stage, though, according to Givony, and any trade is likely to be finalized much closer to the draft, if that happens at all. Now, last month, Cleveland got lucky in the draft lottery, and they got bumped up to the number 3 overall pick. So it wouldn't be a huge move for them to get up to number 1, but potentially something they might be interested in, because the top prospect in this year's class is Oklahoma State's Cade Cunningham. He's 6'8". He's a point guard. He's 19 years old. And according to our 3 News sports analyst, he could potentially provide Cleveland with a big perimeter playmaker, something the Cavs have been lacking over the last 3 years since LeBron James left for the Los Angeles Lakers in 2018. Another potential the Cavs might go after, NBA G League Ignite shooting guard Jalen Green. He is projected to be the number 2 pick in the NBA draft. Also a possibility, USC center Evan Mobley. Now, it's also a possibility that Detroit could target Mobley if Detroit chooses to trade down. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. We have more news about Broadway shows coming to the area. Playhouse Square often partners with the University of Akron's E.J. Thomas Hall, and they have announced more shows coming to the Akron area. Remember, yesterday we talked about Wicked coming here in December. Well, in the fall, the Sarah Bareilles hit adapted musical Waitress will come to the University of Akron. The senior vice president of programming at Playhouse Square, David Green, confirmed this. And he also said they've really missed their friends at E.J. Thomas Hall and are very happy to be working with them again. Starting November 30th and December 1st, we'll see Anastasia in Akron, and the Tony Award-winning musical Hairspray will kick off 2022, playing on April 12th and 13th and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory will be on the Akron stage in May of 2022. Season tickets go on sale July 28th. We have all the information to buy those on WKYC.com. Individual tickets, though, not yet announced. So if you're interested in those shows, you will have to get the full ticket for now. We'll let you know when those individual tickets become available. And with it being Wednesday, it's time for your good news break. So we'll end the show on that note today. And this week's good news break, it's all good news. It drops on our WKYC YouTube page every Wednesday at 1 p.m. It includes something called Smart Citations. Did you know you could get a ticket for doing the right thing? You can. And it resulted in freebies for some kids here in the Northeast Ohio area. Also, a rescue story of some ducklings, a very sweet story that will make you smile, a stowaway seal, adorable, and a whole lot of money for one mama and her reaction that kind of took the internet by storm. So you'll want to check that out. That's up on WKYC.com. It's also up, as I said, on the WKYC YouTube page. And that's it for your 3 News Now update for today, Wednesday, July 7th. I will see you next up on What's New with your trending stories in Clicking in Cleveland, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for more 3 News Now.